Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz. It is September 17, 2017 at 10:21 p.m. I forgot the time there or the year. Look, I watched a movie today called The Sign. It came on DirecTV channel 239, and I saw that it keeps coming on, so it will probably play for a day or two. Look it up, The Sign. And what it is talking about everything that's built around Revelations 12 and the date September 20th to September the 23rd, 2017. It's important. People are pro-biblical, believing in the biblical signs, and those who, all these things have always been, talked about. Where's the sign of his coming? Well, let me say this. Again, I mentioned this the other day. The UN's motto for the year 2017 is peace and safety. And when you hear in the Bible, peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes. You know what? Peace and safety is just announced as the UN's 2017 motto. They have a different one every year. This year, 2017, peace and safety. And the Bible says when you hear peace and safety, we always pointed that to Israel. When you hear peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes because they'll sign a 7-year peace treaty that'll last only 3.5 years. But let me get back to the sign. The sign talks about the events leading up to Revelations 12, the sign in the skies, with Leo, with a Virgo, and with a dragon at her feet. That's a depiction kind of showing that Christ is being born, but not Christ, because Christ went on to live 33 years before he was caught up to heaven after he died. Well, this baby is born and does not die, but is caught up to heaven. That is the church. That's us. That's the believers today. So that's what it's about. They're talking about Planet X that's already creating a disturbance. And I'm going to tell you in another blog what that disturbance, where it started, actually, around the time it started. But it comes every 233 years, I believe. And then somebody, I say Planet X, Nubaru, I'm sorry. Then there's a Planet X or a Planet 9 that takes like every 20-something thousand years. Well, forget that one. That has no bearing on the price of beans in China. Forget that, because this guy is looking at that. He's not looking at the here and now. He's looking at the, what may happen in 3,000 or 10,000 years from now, not today. We're looking at and focusing on today. Okay, there was another movie supposed to have aired in 2013. It was called Rewind, but it never aired. But there is a clip on the internet now that you can see it. And it's shocking, guys. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. And it's not but a few minutes. But it talks about it. It talks about someone has hidden a nuclear bomb in New York City. And it's in the back of a van. And it has a time that it's going off. When they find it, I don't know how much time is on it. For the sake of mentioning a time, I'm going to say 3 hours. They find it. It's in the van. And they know if they move the van, it'll go off. If they do the wrong thing, if they jar, it'll go off. So they can't move it. And then at the last few minutes, FBI calls his wife. Or she calls him and he said, look, I'm really in the middle of something right now. Well, can you tell me what it is? He said, yeah, we have a nuclear bomb that's about to go off. She said, when? He said, 2 minutes, 39 seconds. And he hung up. 2 minutes, 39 seconds. That's in the movie Rewind. Also, it shows a man, FBI agent, that's in a locked room talking with a designer of this nuclear bomb. He's trying to get in the man's head so he can backtrack and figure out how the man did it so that he can relay to his buddies out there how to disconnect it and not let it go off. Well, he's in a locked room in another city, not in New York City. 2 minutes, 39 seconds left. He's still trying to get in this man's head. Time ran out. The bomb went off. 9 million people died. It showed that woman that was on the phone to her husband when he said 2 minutes, 39 seconds. She stood by a park bench and she lowered her head. I think she prayed. But then, as her head was lowered, the bomb went off and it just kind of like stripped the flesh off of her. The movie was pulled, never allowed to show. Why? Well, because it showed the man that was in the locked room with the creator going to CERN, going to the Hadron Collider, talking to a woman. She led him downstairs into a room where all these thousands of cameras are pointed. They have opened the door. And he, what is that? She said, we don't know. He said, I see a green grass field out there. She said, I think we can dial in a time and go to it. He said, you think you can dial in New York City a day or two before this nuclear bomb? She said, I think so. So that's their attempt to go back in time so they can stop this bomb. That's it. They wouldn't show anymore. But I just want to tell you about that. Why did it show so much of the Hadron Collider back in 2013 when it really wasn't that much on the radar? It did. So I just wanted to tell you those two things. Now, I'm going to go and do another blog here shortly, and I'm going to tell you something that's going to shock you. The seals that are in the book of Revelations in chapter 6 have already started opening, and I'm going to tell you why they have been opened and what they have done so far. It has started, and I have the proof for you. Jody Wolf Expoz.